So part of the reason that I chose to tell the story is, like I was saying, I got asked to do a Zoom gig, and stand-up comedy doesn't necessarily translate well on Zoom. Another reason that I chose to do the story um, is because stand-up comedy about Lord of the Rings is particularly difficult, considering that it's existed for as long as it's existed, and it's been interacted with by so many different IPs, that I thought the only real way to do it would be to take not necessarily a story about Lord of the Rings and the universe, but rather one that just referenced it loosely. And even that's difficult, because that's what everyone does when they fucking play with the Lord of the Rings bit, right? Like everyone that's ever done it has done their own like Simpsons, Family Guy, fucking South Park, live action premises. I know I watch a lot of cartoons, but just so upon talking about it for 5 seconds, I realised, just like everything else, it's not actually as original an idea as I believed it was. So enjoy it. Whoa! This is the metamorphosis of what was originally going to be a Zoom gig. It was meant to be stand-up, but there's no way to do stand-up on Zoom, and if there is, I haven't found it. But I do believe you can tell stories on Zoom, and if done correctly, they have some comedic merit. So this is the evolution of that, and it's basically the time that me and a friend and another acquaintance from school all went to go see the Hobbit movies back to back. But if Tolkien wrote it, so I'm gonna jump right in. Long ago, in a land forgotten by time, Leith, there lay a place of great power. A place capable of showing all 3 Hobbit movies back to back, with the third being a midnight release. My friend and I were drawn to its power like many others before us. The tale I'm about to tell you concerns hobbits, evil forces, and the fates of men. And whatever the fuck I am. Many moons before the fated journey began, I was a humble burger boy at an unnameable but tyrannical establishment. On my break, I took to my orb to convene with a fellow wizard of the council, to inform him of the grand undertaking we both had ahead. However, unbeknownst to me, there was a travel companion lurking in the corner, and he said, "I'll get tickets." Which is cool, because, you can't really say you can't come on the quest, because that's not very fair. It's like a public, So we quickly made plans to follow suit. We felt, as wizards of the council, that our party would remain unhindered by this addition, and honestly, we had a bit of a penchant for getting ourselves into wacky situations, and you'll find out this is just that. Our third arrived, and we couldn't help but notice his attire. Tailcoats and boots. Perhaps this was his first foray into the land they called Leith, but his finery would be of no use to him there. The first leg of the journey had begun. We had taken our lives in our hands and boarded the 21 bus. Few places are filled with the type of scum and villainy you'll find on the 21, and God, did we know it. A million eyes boring into us, glinting like the gemstones in the caves of the misty mountains. Our travel companion states as if goadingly, "I should have brought my replica sting." Yes, perhaps you should have. At this rate, you'd need it for self-defense. We make it out with our skin intact, and on foot we journey towards Vouet. Upon arriving at Vouet and stopping for necessary provisions, we had finally arrived. The movie was due to start. Very quickly, however, we realized something foul had befallen one of our party. Our travel companion was muttering word for word the scenes of the movie. We tried desperately to break the spell, in hushed voices, consulting runes. To no avail, we simply had to endure. Upon the stroke of midnight, the curse lessened somewhat. You can't quote what you've not seen, and it was a midnight release of The Hobbit 3. Still in an incredibly reactive state from the spell. Really, really reactive, really interacted with the movie. It was like a 4D experience for us, We had done what was needed. Almost 11 hours in total, due to gaps between. We paid for a carriage home. Our travel companion leans in and says to our weary cab driver, "Here, pal, have you seen the new Hobbit movie?" Feels like now is the time to remind him. It's the fucking midnight release! We had finally made it back to our homesteads. Also weary from the adventure. Our companion boarded his steed, bike, and departed. However, encountered some black ice and absolutely flipped the shit out of his horse. And we did what any good travel companions would do and kind of just pretended we didn't notice. And we waited to see if he was alright, and he was alright, and then it was it. And thus ends the tale of Hobbitses. Right, so now I'm gonna do some like look at the camera weird sort of like gag rule shit, right? So yeah, either one, whichever you prefer, we can mix and match. So probably start with that one. That one. That one. Cool. Yeah. Whoa. Do you think elves have dicks? Do they, Gandalf? Because like elves have tits. I'm not like, just because they've got tits doesn't mean that there's gonna be like a clear. That's not a clear indicator that elf. You know. What's the deal there? Because Aragorn's peeping that one, you know? That one elf. Shut up! Shut up! Was it actually Bilbo Baggins that said, "Not all those who wander are lost"? Was it? Well, I suppose it was Tolkien then, wasn't it? That's weird. I didn't realise that. I don't know what I was expecting, but one of the top quotes is, "My precious." What is Gandalf's famous line? "All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us." That's horrible. That doesn't even make grammatical sense. This Elrond quote is like how I felt when our friend rolled up in tailcoats on the 21 bus. "Let him not vow to walk in the dark who has not seen the nightfall." Ooh. And that means, here, if he doesn't know what he's getting himself into, don't fucking let him sign up for it. I like that. All's well that ends better. I think that was Sam's dad. Maybe I should have brought a guest for this.